Right, I'm trying to go live with my cell phone for the first time. I It was always my understanding that you needed to have 1,000 subscribers, but I don't. I've got like under 700 subscribers. But I'm gonna try to go live. I don't know if anybody's actually gonna see this, because normally I go live Thursdays at 7:15 a.m. Costa Rica time. So I've got no viewers here yet, so we'll see what goes. I'm also going to check the range of my Wi-Fi. So I'm going to take a little walk in the jungle. I've applied my bug spray, and there's a trail here I've been working on. I've been working on a little trail here. Oh, there's people watching. I'm not able to respond because I'm not monitoring it with my iPad. Normally I have my laptop and I monitor with the iPad. But I've been working on a trail here that goes to the big tree. And I think the Wi-Fi comes this far down. But there's the crossing here. Have some strategically placed rocks. Do I have it? Can you see my work, my handiwork? Okay, we've got a couple people watching. So I'll put you down. And this tree behind me, this tree is like humongous. You can't tell from this angle, but it's really, really freaking huge. So apparently I am going live from the phone, so that's great. So I'm here in Uvita, Costa Rica. There's a beautiful stream here. And I've been working on the trail. Hopefully I can make the crossing okay with electronics in my hand. And I'm still connected to my Wi-Fi. So I've done videos about this tree before. What was that? I'm always super duper wary of snakes, because it's a snaky kind of place here, and there are venomous snakes that frequent this area. So let's just take a look at our tree. We get it all in frame. I gotta back up a little bit. I need to do another video just about this tree because it's really cool. So I'm not able to see comments. It's my first time streaming with a phone, but I'm This is a cebu tree. Of course, I'm pronouncing that wrong because that's part of what I do. I pronounce the words wrong. So cebu or cebu, it's pronounced one of those ways. So it's muy grande. Árbol muy grande. It's muy cerca mi casa, very close to my house. We've got a little nature trail here. So yeah, it's a little nature trail. This is just a kind of a test just to see if this actually works and what my limitations are. I know I've got Wi-Fi limitations. I'm not sure if hopefully I'm still connected. So there's a lot of interesting insects that you'll see around a huge tree like this. I should probably do another video about this tree, since I've got to know this tree a lot better since I first moved here. And when you see it from the other side, it looks like a big tree, but when you see it from this side, it's like, wow, it's a monster. It's a really a huge tree. I don't think there's any way I can see if there's, I don't know if I dare touch one of these buttons here. Hey Kim, okay, I can see some chat. Kim's there. Happy Sunday. I hope you're not on the road today. I hope you at least get one day off a week before your big trip coming to Costa Rica. But it's a nice day. It's not raining and the sun's not blazing. But there's a little trail I spent all morning working on that, and you really have to pace yourself getting over the flu. Well, at least your immune system will be all activated and be able to fight off the things. So yeah, it's really snaky through here, and actually my landlord was bitten by a fer de lance at one point, many years ago, but they are here. I have never seen one. They've probably seen me. So here's an interesting little section here. Got some ant hills. I don't know if you can see those. Photography with an iPhone is not an easy thing, but I give it my best. So there's all these little leafcutter ants. So those are all the little apartments for the leafcutter ants. And they're busy working. And the leafcutter ants don't seem to be a problem for me. You just have to be careful, and if you're shooting video or doing anything outdoors, you just have to pay attention to your feet a lot. But the ants that really get me, the hormigas, they're these little tiny ones that are about half the size of a grain of rice, and they bite you and they sting you. I think the sting is what really gets you, and they leave a really good welt. I still have white marks from like a month ago, and what happens with me, right now I'm wearing boots, but it's very rare. Normally I wear sandals, and they crawl up on my feet and they bite me right on the instep, right where the lace, or right where the strap for my shoes goes. And I think that's because maybe there's blood vessels close, so that's a good place for them to bite. But these guys here are busy bringing all the leaves in to create their fungus that they do, and the whole leaf cutter process. But there's a nice little colony of them here. So let me see, I don't know. Yeah, so I'm kind of lucky. I've got a little kind of a little forest preserve around where I live, even though I'm close to the town. But one thing I don't like about this time of year, though, I get neighbors next door now, or I get neighbors upstairs from me, and the last batch came through, and 2 more days, and you're gonna be in Costa Rica. That's something to look forward to. That beats Christmas. Yeah, the weather's, at least here in Uvita, you can feel it's changing a little bit. It's making the turn to what they call summer here. So actually, it's about to start raining here, but like last night, it didn't rain much, and it's to me, it's a little unnerving when it doesn't rain because I'm so used to it, and if it goes a long time without raining, which it does during the dry season, it just doesn't feel right. But we do need to dry out. I mean, things are still wet, big time here. But I'm not sure if this is going to be a big rain or a little rain. So there's a lot of wildlife here. I think there's some toucans flying over, but you know, we get scarlet macaws here once in a while, but you don't really see too much because you're kind of surrounded by the jungle. But I actually had an otter carrying a frog come up from this brook to my apartment. I was standing out in my yard just kind of looking at the jungle. This otter came up and he was making a beeline for me. He had a frog in his mouth. And before I could figure out what I needed to do, he saw me and turned around and went back into the jungle. It's one of those weird things. I wish I had a camera on for that time. But this is a nice little brook. And this little stream turns into a torrent when it rains. It's amazing. It's amazing how fast. It's amazing how fast this will go from a little bit to like totally overflown, and then as quick as it goes up, like in 12 hours, or so, this goes right back down. It just it empties out fast. It's back where I used to live in upstate New York. If we got rains like we get here, it would take days and days to recover. But this area is built. It's built to handle the heavy rains in a lot of ways. Like the infrastructure in the streets, they've got the huge, deep culverts along the streets that go and empty out into the. I guess that goes down to the river. And Vita empties out into the river, but it empties fast. It has to. So this is like a whole new thing for me if I can stream with my phone. Because prior to this, I've only been able to live stream with my laptop. And to not have to carry that around would open up some options for some different places. Though I don't think I'll be using my cellular data because it's pretty expensive. But there's a lot of Wi-Fi around here. There's a lot of interesting places, like different restaurants and things. I was at a restaurant. A friend of mine has a restaurant in Bahia, and I stopped there. They have homemade ice cream that's really good. So I just stopped in there with a friend of mine to get some ice cream, and we're eating ice cream, and you heard this thud, and it was an iguana fell out of the tree and landed, right over, pretty close to us. It's just one of those things that happens here in Costa Rica. And that just happens to be near the area where I was riding my bicycle and an iguana came down and fell right prior to me arriving. So falling iguanas it's not something that's rare. And it's not because I know that this happens in Florida. They get the iguanas that freeze and fall out. These iguanas they go too far out in the branch and the branch breaks or they slip and fall. But I think the iguana is built so that they can handle a fall. I know sloths are like that. Sloths' bodies are built so they can fall from like a huge tree, hit the ground, and they shake it off and go on about their way. There are sloths here, but I am not a very good sloth spotter. So my bug spray seems to be doing pretty good. This is the only time I ever really worry much about bugs, is when I'm like in the middle of the jungle, or as my friend said, my friend was telling me, she says, this is not a jungle, it's a bosque. But to me, it's a jungle. It's got, it looks like a jungle to me. It doesn't look like a jungle to you. But no, it is jungle. It is bosque. But I'm going with jungle because we got monkeys. We got two kinds of monkeys here. Sloths, iguanas, poisonous snakes. Hopefully not very close. And the thing about poisonous snakes is they're very hard to see because they blend in so well. And to somebody like me that's not trained in spotting these, I have to be extra careful. So I tread lightly, which is always a good idea. So let's take a look. So those are the ants. I'm giving them a wide berth, just out of respect, because they're always decent to me. Those leaf cutters, to me, have always kind of like, they're so busy with their job that they don't have time to bite you or sting you. And those little ants that I was talking about earlier, I'll go out to like the clothesline to dry some clothes, or go out and feed the goats, and they get me. And by the time you know that they're stinging you, it's too late. All right, let's see how the trail is going back. There's a I did a pretty good job, if I do say so myself. There's pretty good access to the big tree now. But you still get your feet a little muddy. Okay, so now I've got another surprise. If you've been following the channel for any length of time, you know that it's starting to rain. You know that we have goats here. We have goats. We have cabras here. And I feed the cabras bananas. They're kind of like pets to me. But we had a new addition with the cabras. And we'll see that. If you'd like to see maybe we'll get a chance to see the new baby cabra. A cabra is a goat. And a baby goat is a cabrita. And when I moved to Costa Rica, I didn't think I'd be living with goats. I thought I'd be surrounded by monkeys. And I am sometimes. But my amiga, who I call Bambi, has just today given birth to a beautiful little white cabrita. So let's run up and see our little baby cabrita. Oh, probably can't see. There she is. I don't have a way to zoom this, I don't think. But she just gave birth to a beautiful little... I'm going to have to get my Nikon with a telephoto to do some video. Do a separate video on that later. But I don't really want to disturb them too much. It's amazing. It's amazing how quickly, like, the baby goat can walk, because this baby's already been up and walking. All right, well, that was a good test of the live stream. I don't know what to do next, so I'm just gonna tune out. Make sure you like it if you liked it, subscribe if you want to, share with a friend and all that fun stuff. But I'll probably be trying to do some more lives now that I know that I can do it on the phone, which is a lot easier. Oh, this is I've got a washing machine. I used to have like a Tico washer. What us gringos call a Tico washer, what Costa Ricans call a washer. But now I've got a machine that it's got a centrifuge. It's all in one. So basically, it washes, and then it doesn't dry it, but it's got a centrifuge that takes like 80% of the water out. Then you dry it, and it dries pretty fast. So that's a good thing to have here. I know some people actually have dryers, which is a rare thing, because most people here don't have dryers for a lot of reasons, but a big reason is electricity is so expensive here. So it's misting a little bit, but there's the Cabra pasture. All right, yeah, I'm not even sure how to turn off the live stream with the phone. That turns the camera around. That's cool. And what's this? Oh, I can do special effects. I don't need special effects, so I turn those off. I'll take a walk one more time down by the brook. I'll flip the camera around. It's starting to rain a little bit right now, but and here's my driveway. I take part in the maintenance. I like to throw a little bit of dirt on there myself every once in a while. So I have two streams I cross to get to my place, and that means there's two little bridges. And here's the first little bridge. And that's the huge cebu tree. We'll just walk back out here again in case anybody just tuned in and wants to see a little bit of the jungle here. That's the little stream, and I spent most of the morning working on a little trail here so people can access the big tree, because it's a way cooler from the far side. I tried to make it so it was a little bit easier to cross here. Plus, it'll be easier to cross for me if I have a camera or something with me. But here's the big cebu tree. muy grande. I know if you've been watching the live stream since the start, this is a rerun for you, but if you're just tuning in, I'll show you a little bit of the scale of this. It really is hard to get the scale, and I'm always, as I was saying before, I'm always really careful because it's snake country here. So it's a pretty cool thing, pretty cool place. And the roots of this tree are pretty cool. They're just and if you're walking on rocks in Costa Rica, it's always a good assumption that the rocks are probably going to be slippery. I did my best on here. I rubbed my feet on there a lot to knock a lot of the moss off. But it's humid. The humidity goes up quite a bit just from stepping into the jungle. Or the bosque. I'm not sure what we're calling it. Yeah, it's starting to rain, so I'm gonna sign off. I'll like to take one last look at the big cebu tree from the road. It's pretty. All right, thanks for tuning in, and I'm gonna try to gracefully exit myself from this application.